Welcome to Breakthrough. I'm your host, Sharon, and as always, I'm so excited to be with you. Yay! It's Valentine's Day. Happy Valentine's Day from me and my Teddy. Happy Valentine's Day to you. Hope you guys are having a and Valentine's Day, yes, it is about love. And guess what? If you are single and don't have someone to love you as you deserve to be loved, know that you still deserve to be loved. And don't worry, in time, that special person will come to you. So, again, welcome to Breakthrough. I'm your host, Sharon Joseph, and I'm always honored to have you join me. Thank you. Thank you so much for being here. We've been talking about the celebration of Black history. And yes, I am sporting my authentic Black history outfit, including my wrap. I hope I did a good job. I have an authentic African American family in New York, like from Nigeria family type, lots of them. And I identify so much with the culture. I love it. So I love being pretty and being the queen that I am, basically, by wearing, sporting African outfits when I can. So thank you guys, family in New York, that has really blessed me and helped me to understand my culture and also dress in it. So thank you. So we've been talking about celebrating Black history, and this is part of my celebration this month of showing off our authentic beauty. And yes, we are so beautiful, and we've got to know that for ourselves before anyone else can tell us. So whether you're Black, brown, mixed, minority people or not, we ought to be proud of ourselves and of our culture. So join me today as we celebrate not just Black history, but celebrate love. And if this is your first time joining me, thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for liking. Thank you for giving me comments and so on. And if you've got suggestions for me, I'm always trying to improve myself. So if you've got suggestions for breakthrough tips, tools, and insights for life, would you send me an email about them? And if you also have a story you'd like me to share, your story or someone else's story that has given someone else's story, where you have permission to share it, please send me an email about it, and I'd love to share it here or have you be a guest on my program. Yes, next week I'll be having a guest. Travis Montez is one of the business people here. He owns a production studio, and he'll be working with my audio and visual and assisting me on this broadcast. And he's about to start a podcast as well. And he's just an amazing young man, an amazing African American young man, and he'll be my guest live in studio right here. So don't miss next week. What else? So yes, send me some love, send me some hearts, and I didn't give you the email. So if you've got a story or something you'd like to share with me, the email is breakthroughtti@gmail.com. That's breakthrough, one word, tti@gmail.com. And please subscribe to my YouTube channel, Sharon A. Joseph, DTM. Thank you so much. We are now on TikTok, although I didn't post anything on TikTok this week. Oh, that wasn't so good. But we need to be able to reach people where they are. And there's a huge generation of young adults on TikTok. So as more mature adults, we need to be able to reach them there if we really want to reach them. So thank you. Now, I don't share very often what I do and who, more than just who I am here. But many of you don't know that I am a life coach and a business coach. And if you ever need to talk or share, I'd love to help you live your life more passionately and accomplish your purpose. So know that I'm here. And if you are a listener of this broadcast, I will be happy to give you a discount for your first coaching session. So and we are doing most of them via Zoom right now. Okay, really important. Coming up this week, I'll be leading a session called How to Grow Your Business or Career. It's going to be right here live on Facebook and YouTube. However, there is a cost. There is a $29.99 cost to participate. Okay, so you're asking, okay, Sharon, you're charging me to be in this. session, how to grow your business or career. What am I getting for it? Well, what I'll be doing is I'll be sharing my Wall Street investment and administration management knowledge to the group. I would also be sharing my business consultant knowledge and career and life coaching knowledge. And if you don't know, I've coached not just individuals, but also executives of companies. So I will be sharing real information with you that can truly transform your life and help you navigate the challenges of life, like your career or life in general. And what can you hope to learn? Well, as I said, I'll be sharing my knowledge from Wall Street to you and giving you ideas on how you could not just grow yourself and your career, but if you have a small business or you want to start a small business, I'll be sharing information with you on how you can make that happen. You may not be thinking about starting a small business, but you may be thinking about, I don't know, growing your current business. Then you ought to be there as well. If you're thinking of starting a small business and you're thinking, well, I don't have funds, join me because I'll show you the different types of businesses you can start on a shoestring budget. And to show you how much I value you, my audience, my breakthrough audience here, I'll be sharing some tips and businesses that are going to be successful in 2021 and beyond. So stay tuned for that. Many of you may be thinking, well, Sharon, I'm unemployed or I want to be employed, but I'm not finding a job. Join me then, Wednesday at 7 p.m. Facebook Live. Look for the link after this broadcast because what I'll be doing is sharing with you ways in which you can be more employable, things that you can do to improve your career now or prepare for when the markets come back. So be ready for that. Get ready for that. Again, thank you so much for joining me and current events from this past week. Well, first of all, know that I'm still looking for a content producer. What does a content producer do? He helps me determine the content of each week's broadcast. For example, this week we are talking about the celebration of Black History. What should we be talking about next week? And what should that content look like for that week? So that's what a content producer does. And I'm really hoping to find one soon because it's becoming a lot between doing consulting, between helping small businesses grow, between working on growing a new idea, Breakthrough Leadership Institute, and so many other things. Like I bake sometimes, I enjoy baking. So there are too many things happening for one person. So I'm looking for some people to assist in some areas. I'm looking for an intern. So if you know someone who's good with social media and marketing, please send them my way. I'd love to talk with them. And a business administrator, someone who wants to learn and grow. It could be a college student or a high school student as well, a senior. If you're interested in learning about business administration, or you have a granddaughter, a daughter, or someone or son who would like to learn about it, have them speak to me because I'd love to teach them everything I know to help prepare them to be super successful in their next at their next level. So remember that. Okay, what else is happening? I mentioned to you already that I've been helping small businesses and I'll continue to do that and share stories and insights with you about business growth and business growth ideas. And finally, current events are things that happened this week. I attended an all-day Zoom conference on Wednesday. Can I tell you, first of all, it was very tiring. You think, well, you're just sitting in front of a camera and participating in a meeting, but it's still tiring. And I learned many tips and tools from that all-day session from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. that taught me or showed me how relevant what I'm doing here is. The Zoom tips I shared with you last week, I'm going to recap them really briefly because I saw how desperately needed they are. So I'm trying to prepare you if ever you have a Zoom meeting to attend. And remember, many meetings going forward will take place on camera like this, or via Zoom, or via Google or Google Meet, or one of those video platforms. So you've got to be ready. You've got to understand what you need to do and how to do it. And so I'll be sharing those recaps with you as I go. Now, I want to wish you again a happy Valentine's Day. I'm so excited. This is a painful Valentine's Day, but it's also a really liberating Valentine's Day for me. I don't know about you. I hope you're enjoying yours, whether you're with someone or not. Remember that every great relationship is built on what you do every minute of every day, not just on this day. And until we can recognize and do those things during the year, we could never really hope to have the best Valentine's Day. So remember that great relationships are built on the things that you do every minute of every day for each other. Also remember that your first Valentine, who was your first Valentine? For many of us, it's our parents, my mom. And this is a big anniversary for her as well. 21 years of living here with us in the United States when she came back from Trinidad. So we are really happy about that. Okay, so stay tuned for today's session because I will be sharing a quick Black history information and moving right along. So thank you so much for being here. So we all know the preamble. It says, we hold these truths to be self-evident that all men are created equal. Huh. That they are endowed or gifted or enabled by their creator with certain unalienable or non-transferable rights. That among these are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Now, the thing that stands out to me there, and I think I am dealing with this on a slightly different level because I grew up in a mixed environment. Our neighbors, some were Caucasian, some were African Americans, were married to Caucasians, and that's in Trinidad, the most cosmopolitan country of the entire Caribbean. So we grew up knowing people from around the world. So dating a Caucasian person wasn't so strange to us. Marrying a Caucasian, it wasn't so strange to us, or any other race, whether it's East Indian or any other race, because we grew up living among people like that. So what captivates my mind right now as it relates to being here and dealing with the issues that African Americans and Black and minority people face is the fact that we read this in the Declaration of Independence that we are all endowed by our creator. That's the part I think we need to focus on because we may have pushbacks in many areas, but no one can deny that we are endowed or given gifts. We are enabled by our creator with certain non-transferable rights, and among those, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. But we need to remember where this is coming from, our creator, not a man, not a system, not a government, but from our creator. So as a Black person, as a brown person, a minority person, I'm encouraging you to see yourself for who you are. Endowed by a creator who knows everything, who made everything, and who can do anything. He operates supernaturally, and anything that's coming against you, most times we see it from the natural perspective first. So as Black and brown people, Black and brown boys and girls, men and women, I'm encouraging you to raise your expectations. Parents, aunts and uncles, brothers and sisters, raise your expectations for yourself, for your children, for your nieces and nephews, your family members. We are forming our own history today. Yes, let me just repeat that. We are creating history right now today with the things we do. So let's make it one that we can truly, truly celebrate. See ourselves. Let's see ourselves where we want to be and not where we are right now. Again, let's see ourselves where we want to be and not where we are right now. We cannot change the color of our skin. We cannot change the family or the race or atmosphere we were born into. But can I tell you, we can do the best we can with what we have, with who we are right now. So take advantage of who you are. Celebrate the person you are and celebrate the person that you were created to be. The color of our skins, our skin do not define us. The color of my skin do not define me, and yours should not define you either. Your future and your destiny, you it's held in a bigger hand than any system or government. So how do you go about truly using who you are and becoming the great person you were meant to be? It comes back to one important thing: your mind. Yes, using your most valuable asset and investing in yourself. Every great thing, every great invention, every great thing that we celebrate about Black history right now started with in someone's mind. They thought about it, they developed it, they worked on it, they suffered through it. But guess what? They came through it. And now we are able to celebrate them. So use your mind to think of great things in which you can do to transform not just your life and the people around you, but this world in general. In the future, what can we say about you to celebrate you? Because we are literally making history now. I want to be able to celebrate you in the future. I'm sure your children and family would love to celebrate you as well. So I'm saying to you, make history now. History is not something that just happens. It happens on a daily basis right where you are, but it's a deliberate act to make great things happen, to live with passion and purpose. That's how you make history. By whatever you feel that you've been called to do it passionately. That's how we make history now, today. So, what are you going to do right now to ensure that you make a significant impact on this world despite societal and economic challenges? What are you doing today to create history for tomorrow? Think about that. My suggestion is to make a decision in your mind, your most valuable asset, and invest in yourself. Make a decision to learn, grow, and be excellent. Why? Because people will find you. You know, the Bible says your gifts will make room for you. It will. People will seek you out when they realize you have a gift and you're operating it with such excellence that they have to find you because you're the best at what you do. The good thing about excellence is it knows no color. So it doesn't matter if you're brown, black, or whatever color. Excellence knows no color, and people will seek you out all the time. So I wanted to share. I know that's just me rambling on about I'm passionate about who you are and about who I am, because we are not our color. And until we realize that, we would not achieve the greatness in which we have been created to achieve. We are not the color of our skin. And until we see that, and until we allow other people to see the gifts, the talents, the greatness in us, we always feel oppressed by systems that are meant to make you feel that way in order to make themselves feel better. So be mindful of that. Okay, so let's talk about Black history. Let's talk a little more about Black history. Again, it's the month in which we talk about it, and I am so proud to be who I am and whose I am that I'm excited to share it. Remember that we here in America, we didn't choose to be here. We didn't choose of our own volition to be here. But because a choice was made for us or on behalf of us, and our parents didn't necessarily have a choice, fact is we are here now. So what do you do about it? I suggest to you that you do the best that you can today to create an amazing history that can be celebrated tomorrow. So, and this week, I'll also be sharing at least 2 people that I know and that ought to be celebrated. Because, okay, and before I share with you one of them, I want to remind you that you're no longer a slave for a person. You're no longer a slave. But if you keep thinking or carrying on the slave mentality, then you're mentally enslaved. So be mindful of that. Excellence cannot come out of a slave mentality. So move beyond that. See yourself as greater than what you've been through. and celebrate who you are. So this week I'm celebrating only two people. And I'm saying let's celebrate the amazing women of NASA. Yes, our NASA system. We one of the one in particular is Catherine Goebel. She was called the human computer. Why? Because her advanced mathematical skills and calculations allowed astronaut John Glenn, to orbit the Earth three times on February 2nd, 1962. The first human to orbit the Earth. How amazing was that? Some more about her. Miss Goebel, who got married to a Johnson, so Miss Goebel Johnson was finally honored. Oh my goodness, this breaks my heart, but I'm grateful that she was honored. She was finally honored in February of 2015, 53 years after that major accomplishment by then President Barack Obama at the White House. What a blessing. What a celebration to know that even then women were doing amazing things. Not just women, but Black women. And I know that my audience is primarily Black women, or not just Black women, but primarily women, at a time when women in general, it didn't matter what color you were not allowed to do many things. To have Catherine Goebel Johnson be able to impact the world and history in such a beautiful way, it encourages me. It truly encourages me. If you want to learn more about her and the three other women that were featured in Hidden Figures, that movie, I encourage you to read the book or the movie Hidden Figures, and you'll learn more about the three talented and amazing Black women who were featured in that film. Now, the second group I'm celebrating today is our Black Wall Street. Did you know? And I think this is fascinating to me because I worked on the current Wall Street. But did you know that there was a Black Wall Street? And this happened almost 100 years ago, June 1st, 1921. So it existed. The tragedy of that incident was the fact that on June 1st, 1921, in the Greenwood district of Tulsa, Oklahoma, over 300 people were massacred by a white mob. Their homes were burnt, their businesses were burned down, and many bodies were dumped in mass graves. It was such a huge miscarriage of justice, and I feel like we have been through so much as a Black people. But despite all that we have been through, I wanted to look at history, or capture history, in a different way. Yes, it's painful. Yes, it happened. Many people now are missing ancestors because they died then. They were wealthy, and now they may be living in poverty, their descendants. But despite all of that, the fact that Black Wall Street existed at a time when Black people were enslaved and were not able to read and do many things, and they were able to create a Black Wall Street, that shows me the level of resilience that we have in us as a people, and that should be celebrated. Any Black person or any minority people. And again, we are celebrating Black History Month this month, but it's more than Black history. The history of Black people and the celebration we are celebrating it's for any minority. It's for any people who feel that they're being marginalized. We can do great things despite what's coming our way, despite the terrible, oppressive times that they lived in then. These brave men and women formed a Black Wall Street. Things are not perfect now either. They'd never be. Think about it. But we can still make history. How about working towards creating another Black Wall Street? There's so many things we can do. And I'm excited to share this with you because at one time I thought to myself, there aren't any new ideas. I mean, all the good or new ideas are gone. But the more I live, I realize, yes, there are many good ideas and good improvements that we can make right now to make history in the future. So remember that. Okay, right now I'm taking a pause for a cause to remind you of the upcoming training this week, Facebook Live, February 17th. It's going to be $29.99. It's the first paid training I'm doing on a live broadcast. It's only $29.99. Can I tell you, you will get much more than your money's worth, because I'll be sharing secrets there that I don't normally talk about here. And I'll be giving you step-by-step directions depending on what you want to do. And by the way, if you will be attending and you have a specific business idea you'd like me to talk about, send me an email to breakthroughtti@gmail.com. Again, breakthroughtti@gmail.com. Okay, so in order to accomplish great things, we can only do it if we know who we are. I'll repeat that. We can only accomplish great things if we know who we are and know whose we are. We need to know that we were created by an amazing, magnificent God who does not, cannot, will not ever make mistakes, and that he loved you so much that he sent his son to die for you. And with that said, he will not do all of that to just leave you here to suffer. So this program is all about helping you to break through. You know, my spiritual father would always say, the mantra of my church in New York is, we will never break down, we'll always break through. And I'm saying that to you right now. You'll never break down, you'll always break through if you know whose you are. How do you do that? Learn about your identity. And the only way you can do that is to understand or read your owner's manual. That's the only way you can truly read and appreciate who you are. I'm Black, but because of who and whose I am, I don't put limits on myself. I don't see myself based on my color. My creator is every color. Think about that. The man who created you and I has every color in him. And that's why I don't see myself as any one color. I'm not ignorant of the obvious systems of the world. I just know whose I am. And because I know whose I am, I know who I am. Think about it. If you were the son or daughter of the president, would you be walking with your head bowed or wondering if you can accomplish one thing or another? No. If you were a princess of the Queen of England, would you be walking as a pauper? No. You are a prince. You are a princess. Your father is the King of Kings. So walk and hold your head up high and do great things, because you were created to do great things. And look beyond your color. Look beyond your color. I got to tell you, in order to do that, you've got to have some faith. You've got to have faith to know that you're more than what people see. Even what you think of you, you're more than that. And if you were to move forward knowing that, you would go and do great things. Know this, in Ephesians 3:20, it talks about now, it says, now unto him who is able to do exceedingly, abundantly, above all that we can ask or think. Now, this scripture really blows my mind in so many ways, because he's saying, he's reminding you and I, that unto him who is able, he is able to do, not just to do, but to do exceedingly. Not just exceedingly, but exceedingly abundantly. My goodness, not just exceedingly abundantly, but exceedingly abundantly above all that you could ask or think. And do you know what that tells me? That God himself, your creator, my creator, has put asking and thinking on the same level. So you can't be asking for one thing and thinking another thing. So you've got to bring your thinking and asking in alignment with each other in order to truly accomplish the great things that you were meant to accomplish. My goodness, I hope I'm giving you something that you can run with this week and do great things. Start creating your own history. I see situations and circumstances and people and issues so differently, not because I am so great or I have so much. No, it's because I know who I am. And knowing who I am came from knowing whose I am. So once you get to know whose you are, you walk with a confidence that nothing can shake. In case you're now joining us, this is Breakthrough, and we are celebrating Black History Month, and we are talking about how you, as an individual, can truly walk in the greatness in which you were created to walk in. In this program, Breakthrough, it's all about helping you live and lead with passion and purpose. It's knowing and understanding that we were created with a purpose to impact this world with the greatness that resides inside of each and every one of us. It's helping you recognize that our mind is our most valuable asset, and that the investment we invest in ourselves is our greatest investment. Breakthrough is all about deliberately influencing people and impacting the world with a spirit of excellence. And it's not a one and done thing. It's an everyday. When you fail, you get up and you do it again. Okay, so we have spoken about many things today. I know I knew that this would have been a packed broadcast, but because I promised you to share some ideas with you, and these are some of the things we will be talking about in I didn't share the Zoom ideas things ideas or Zoom ways of doing things that can improve who you are, and I'll run through that really briefly and then give you some business ideas. Yes, I'm giving you a hint of what we'll be doing on Wednesday. So I'll be giving you some business ideas that you can start at home. I'll just be giving it in more details and telling you what's required, what you need to do first, second, and third, and so on. So I said earlier, because of the pandemic, many businesses are working remotely, and knowing how to use Zoom and other video type platforms is really critical. And I'll give you an example. This week, I was talking to a friend of mine. She's an HR specialist in Atlanta, and she was on a training session with another person. And this person was hired on a Monday, and on a Thursday, she was fired. Why? Because her technological knowledge was so poor that they had to fire her. I don't want that to be your life. So what I'm about to do is to review the tips I shared with you very briefly, so that I can move on and give you some of my business tips and tools. So the first one I said last week about Zoom, and I'm going to go through these really quickly. So if you want to have the details, go back to last week's broadcast. One, have a reliable internet or Wi-Fi. That's really important. You must be connected and stay connected, and not have to be calling back in to a video call or a Zoom call. Have adequate lighting. Natural lighting must be behind you, it must be in front of you, not behind you, because if the sun is shining in behind you, the people who you're in the meeting with will not be able to see you well. Then find a private area. I see so many Zoom calls where dogs and cats and even parrots try to be part of it. Yes, parrots try to be a part of the sessions too, and it's so distracting. So be mindful of that. So have an appropriate background also. And if you don't have an appropriate background, like I have a deliberate background behind me, then use a virtual background, but make sure it's appropriate for the audience in which you are meeting with. Then secure your pets. Again, secure your pets before the meeting, and get to your meeting early. Prepare in advance so that you don't need to leave the meeting if you need to go and go off camera for any reason. So just ensure that you're well prepared in advance. You don't need to leave during the meeting. And what else? Ensure that your video and audio are on and working. Your volume, especially when you're speaking or if you're giving a report, make sure your volume is on and working. So many people start talking and they have to repeat themselves because their volume is off. And by the way, about the lighting, I mentioned that session I was in all day on Wednesday, and many of the presenters, we couldn't see their faces. So ensure that you have enough lighting, and I believe I have enough lighting here for you, but ensure that you have enough lighting in front of you so people can see you and see you well, especially if you are the presenter. That's really critical, because many of the sessions I was like, I can't believe they're presenting a professional, and it was a statewide meeting. And I couldn't see the presenters. So be mindful of that as you go. Then dress appropriately. It's Black History Month, so I'm celebrating Black history, and I am in my African attire. So this is appropriate for what we are doing. If it's a business meeting, dress appropriately. And just a tip for you, if it's a business meeting, if you can afford, if you have shirts with a collar, wear a collar, because a collar, it shows authority. It shows more, it makes you appear to be more professional. So just little tips in which you can take. So dress appropriately. Remember, first impressions still count. It still matters, even if it's over a video. Look good because you feel good, and avoid touching yourself and fixing and touching things on you during the meeting. Speak slowly. Speak slowly, especially if you're making a presentation or responding to questions during an interview. That's really important because you want to connect with your interviewers on a more personal level, especially because you're not in person. Also, make eye contact with the camera. Don't just be looking down at the people on the screen, because looking down, I'm not looking directly at you. So make sure you look at the camera sometimes and make eye contact. And if you're leading the meeting, have an agenda. Simple, have an agenda. Make sure you introduce the people who are on the call with you, because in a regular meeting, you will introduce the people on the call. So why not do it as if it's a Zoom meeting? So here are the tips, because I'm a few minutes longer than what I wanted to go. Some of the tips for business ideas for 2021 and beyond are cleaning services. Cleaning services. Because of COVID, so many people are needing help with cleaning and maintaining a COVID standard at their business or at their homes, that establishing a business in the cleaning services area would be very profitable, because many people are paranoid right now getting COVID, even when they get this vaccine. So consider that. How about establishing a home cleaning services business? How about natural products? If you're good at making candles or soaps or something like that, why not consider doing something like that as a business and start small? If you have a garden at home, fresh vegetables and fruits, why not consider doing that? And you can start just by walking around by your neighbors and selling some, and then have it expand as you go. And okay, so two more. Another one is, and I just shared this one with a friend of mine. Drone photography, I believe, will be a booming business going forward. Drone photography. We are so used to seeing people take pictures on the same level, but drone being able to see things from a different perspective and different aerial views would be very important going forward. So consider that. Consider getting a toy drone and learning how to operate it, and then figure out from there how you do photography, attach a camera to it to do photography, and so on. My goodness, there's so many more businesses I want to share with you, and not just share them with you, but also share with you how do you go about being successful in them. That's the most important thing. But until next week, right here on when we celebrate another week of Black History and have a guest. My first guest for this year, Travis Montez, yes, from GVO Productions. You'll hear all about how he came to be in this business he's in, what are some of his challenges, and what were some of his challenges before he got to where he's at. Until then, may I pray for you? Right now, I just pray, oh God, that every person who is watching or who will watch Breakthrough Tips, Tools, and Insights will not just learn from this broadcast, but share it with someone else who can also learn. I thank you, oh God, for the amazing history of Black people, that we can celebrate it now. I thank you for allowing us, the people who watch this video, to be able to celebrate their own history going forward. I thank you for planting a seed of excellence inside of us, that in everything we do, say, and think, we will think excellence in doing it. We thank you, oh God, for allowing us to live and lead with passion and purpose, with love and gratitude. We thank you for allowing us to live with character, integrity, and an amazing attitude. We thank you for all of your provisions and the vision to see great things and do great things. Help us, oh God, most of all, to know who we are based on whose we are, and to not look at ourselves based on our color, but look at ourselves based on whose we are. And in all of these things, oh God, we would not forget to give you the honor and the glory. Father, we ask you to help us to trust you, our Creator, with all of our hearts, and not depend on what we know or our own understanding. But, oh God, give us wisdom to know what to do, when to do it. Help us to seek help and directions from you, knowing that you will direct us in all our ways. We ask all of these things in the matchless name of Jesus. And we say amen until next time on Breakthrough Tips, Tools, and Insights for Life. Go forth, do great things, and do it excellently. Be blessed.